In case you missed it, Melly just got blindsided by the feds, who are pushing Bortland to testify against him. Reports say a no communication order has been filed in the Melly trial. The order completely separates Melly and Bortland. Conversations, no communication through lawyers, just total silence. Prosecutors are trying to force Bortland to snitch by putting him and Melly on trial together in the next proceedings.
Here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together, just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. We're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
The judge announced the order in court, summoning Melly and his legal team to hear it. The most alarming part is that if Bortland knows he didn't commit this serious crime, it's unlikely he'll be willing to spend the rest of his life in prison without speaking up, which raises the chance that he could turn on Melly and testify against him. Interestingly, this development comes just as news broke that Melly's lawyers have filed their final paperwork requesting his release on bond until his trial in September. This time, they're fully confident he'll be granted bond, especially after Melly's mother shared an update on his situation.
Just still praying. I know. I said I would give. I'll keep everybody updated with what's happening. I know right now we're waiting. So basically, the judge is going to do, I guess, a written order. So we're just waiting, and that order can come any minute, or it can come tomorrow. I don't know. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting. So everybody just keep praying, keep having faith. Tessa, I've been crying too. Like, it's been a long time coming, you know.
A new bond package has been prepared for Melly, and his legal team has proposed an unspecified bond amount that would be covered by his record label, 300 Entertain. If granted release, they promised the judge that Melly would remain house arrest, wear an ankle monitor, and hire 24/7 security to monitor him. The bond proposal was considered so solid that a rapper even posted, "Bat Boy Melly's coming home, I feel it." Meanwhile, Melly's team is also presenting evidence to show he's being treated inhumanly behind bar, much of it coming from statements his mother has made about his conditions.
You saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life. As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
Melly's lawyers also presented evidence to cast doubt on the federal case, revealing GPS data that shows Melly wasn't in the car when the crime took place. Instead, the records indicate he was running down the street and hiding in a bush.
The part he's saying that someone just shut the car up and was trying to shoot him. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, "There's a car coming behind him, and I'm hiding." He was like, "There's some, there's some, I think they're still out here or something." So I'm like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "I'm okay." I said, "Well, where are Sam and Juby?" And he said, "I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're..."
To further support their claims of a drive-by, Melly's lawyers pointed out that no firearm was ever recovered.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this observation because I don't know what to use.
Okay.
However, the prosecutors hit back in a troubling way. Just as Melly's chances of release were improving, they brought in both his best friend, Bortland, and his ex-girlfriend, Mariah. working out deals to persuade them to testify against him. Mariah had been living outside the United States for the past 3 years. She was originally scheduled to testify during the first trial, but failed to appear, which ultimately led to her arrest.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
But the judge struck a deal with Mariah in exchange for agreeing to testify at Melly's second trial. She was released from jail. Afterward, she posted on Facebook, "Thank you to my village. I love y'all so much. God's plan, not mine." Prosecutors believe that a phone call took place between Mariah and Melly during the time of the crime, detail they think could blow the case wide open. On top of that, Melly is now facing witness tampering charges after investigators uncovered evidence in Mariah's iCloud account suggesting he pressured her not to testify in the first trial. Shockingly, the witness tampering charge alone carries a potential life sentence, regardless of whether Melly is found guilty of killing Sack Hazer and Juvie.
Filings linked 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a
Because Melly is accused of tampering with the jail phone, he's been banned from making calls for months. His mother recently did an interview, speaking out about how unfair she believes the situation is.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
But if the feds are correct and can prove that Melly tampered with the jail phone, which record every call, that would explain why he's been barred from using them. Meanwhile, Bortland poses another major problem for Melly. During the first trial, Melly's lawyer tried to shift the blame onto Bortland, leaving him furious and potentially ready to turn against Melly.
Where his lives. Courtroom Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car, two bodies, car riddled with bullets. When he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having the phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in the pocket, not Portland Henry.
Melly's lawyer tried to paint the picture that Bortland was present when the victims were killed. Meanwhile, prosecutors believe Bortland has been lying to federal agents, and an investigator revealed that Bortland had firearm residue on his hands after the crime, adding more suspicion with details about the gunpowder evidence.
So the right hand of Portland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of pot residue and two component particles, and the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of pot residue and 1 2-component particle.
And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was pot residue present on the hands.
Bortland was furious about this strategy. After court ended that day, he tweeted, "Mind games don't work on people like me," along with a handshake emoji hinting he might be open to striking a deal. But what's truly alarming for Melly is Bortland's interrogation from the night of the crime, where Bortland was caught lying multiple times in an apparent attempt to cover for him.
Okay, tell me what happened. And I was playing music, getting off the exit. I was already being stupid. Almost home. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's out of nowhere, like, sure. You know what I'm saying? So, I ducked down, you know what I'm saying, in the car. And I almost cut.
Let me back you up a few minutes. Where were you coming from? Fort Lauderdale studio. Which way did you take?
To I-75, 595
to 75. Then you took 75 south?
To the officers, it was obvious that Bortland's story didn't add up, and one officer even caught him in a lie.
Here's the hard part what we're having a hard time to understand is that we shut down that entire area and we had officers shoulder to shoulder walk it out. They didn't find as much as 1 shell casing. They didn't find 1 piece of glass. Nothing. nothing to what you said adds up. And it's hard.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's
I mean, for whatever reason, your two friends, these your good friends?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
These your two, I'm assuming close friends,
No.
and you're doing them an inservice by not telling us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth. I don't like. What do you want?
How do you make shell cases disappear?
I don't know. I cannot tell you about the shell case.
As the interrogation went on, things only got worse. Portland grew increasingly angry at the officer for not believing his story.
Y'all the slow story, and that's it. I don't even talk about it. I told y'all. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Just so you know, right? Because you're saying, well, I don't want to talk anymore. There's going to be a lot more questions. There's, and we're not trying to piss you off. The thing is, we don't know your friends.
Yeah.
So the reason we have to ask all these questions, because the more we know about your friends, your lifestyle, your friend's lifestyle, your friends, his friends, and the circumstances surrounding today, the more, the easier it's going to be for us to try and solve this.
With Portland now trying to stay silent and refusing to share more information, the officer shifted tactics, stopping questions about the overall story, and instead focusing on specific details from the night of the supposed drive-by. How was Portland driving? Did he crash into anything? And other pointed questions.